Hello students. So today I am going to discuss with you about the performance of the processor, that what is the performance of the processor and how we can use them and how we can measure the performance of the processor. So there is a cycle time, and so there is a clock cycle. We all know that processor runs on a clock cycle. So this is a clock cycle, and this clock cycle is basically is a square wave or something, some pulses and like that. So here we can see them some square wave, and there is a cycle time. So execution in a complete cycle, so this is a cycle, complete cycle, and it is a cycle time. So so there are some of the concept, for example frequency, cycle count, cycle time. Okay, so time period is 1 by f, and CPI is a cycle per instruction, IC is your instruction count, MFLOPS is million floating point operations per second, MIPS is your million instructions per second. So these all terms are your performance of a processor, and used in a performance of a processor basically. So what is execution time? Execution time is your CC into CT. So CC was your cycle, CC is your cycle count, and CT is your cycle time. So if I multiply these two things, then cycle count is basically instruction count multiplied by CPI. CPI is a parameter which I will discuss today, and another thing is your CT. CT is your cycle time. So IC multiplied by CPI, CT can be divided by 1 by f, which is a frequency. So it provides me the execution time. Another thing is your CPI. CPI is a total CPU clock cycles for the program divided by instruction count. So CPI I multiplied by I, so divided by IC, so it is my instruction count, and instruction count is equal to I is equal to 1 to n is equal to I. So how here we can I can find my CPI here. So next is your MFLOPS. It is number of floating point to operation in a program divided by number of floating point operations. For example, if it may possible if that in an exam you may asked about calculating MFLOPS, and for that case it provides a number of instruction in a program is in a 1 million, and half of millions are non-floating point instructions. Then find MFLOPS. So you need to find for the half of the you need to find the MFLOPS for remaining half of your instructions. Okay, so number of floating point of operation in a program divided by execution time into 10 raised power 6, because it is million, so it is dividing by 1 or 10 raised power 6. MIPS, instruction count divided by execution time into time. So execution time is 1 by f, so it is a frequency basically, and it provides us the value of the CPI multiplied by 10 raised power 6. So it provides me the MIPS. So there is an example that calculates CPI and MIPS for a CPU with 200 megahertz frequency, which is executing a performance program with the following instructions are instruction category. These are the instruction type of the instructions, and performance of a occurrence 38, and number of cycles per instruction is 1, 3, 4 and 5. So these type of instructions are there. For that performance of occurrence is 38, these all things, and the number of cycles per instruction is 1, 3, 4 and 5. So what are the total number of the instruction is the 100, and so I can say 38 instructions in a 100 of instructions are consumes only one cycle. Okay, so in the CPU, how can I calculate the CPI? I will have to multiply 38 multiplied 1, 15 multiplied by 3, 42 multiplied by 4, 5 multiplied by 5, divided by instruction count. Instruction count is 100, so I will get 2.76, which is my CPI. So how can I calculate my MIPS? MIPS are total number of the instructions. So clock rate divided by CPI multiplied by 10 raised power 6. So already we know that the clock rate is 200 into 10 raised power 6, and this value is 2.76. So 10 raised power 6 will be cancelled, and I will get the 70.24 million instructions per second. So that's how we can find my performance of a computing system. So that we have already discussed in our last lecture. So here we can understand this thing, and I will send you some of the things which are important for regarding your exams. Please write down on a paper. Please do the assignment on it. I think I should give you an assignment on it, so that you may be more beneficial with the whole study what we have already done in this lecture. So thank you for that lecture.